everyone, this is Venom, and we're back with some more Starfield news. So today we don't have any video footage. I might put some in the background later on, but right now we're on Reddit. I was watching some videos earlier, and there's a lot of big news that just came out here recently from a Pete Hines interview. Let me adjust my camera real quick. It's sitting crooked and driving me nuts. So again, Starfield is coming out on September 6th. We are almost there. It's going to have the early access is going to be September 1st. And again, those people with review copies are already playing it right now. I am jealous, but I'm a grown man. I'll get over it. I'll make it. But people are playing it right now. Again, they do have the embargo on, so I think the embargo lifts like 8 hours before the game comes out. So on September 31st, expect to see a lot of videos coming out from creators who have been playing the game, and expect me to make a video about their videos. So I want to take a look and see what kind of stuff they're talking about, see what the reviews are looking like, and give my take on what I've seen. And of course, we're going to be jumping into it when the time comes. But like I said, Pete Hines did an interview. I think it's in Germany, but I'm here on Reddit on r/Starfield. This is a thread by Dull Caterpillar 3153. But this information is everywhere. I just wanted to get something that wasn't a video. I wanted to get something that's just kind of written so I can kind of keep my thoughts together. But a couple of the main things that I saw before we even go point by point, or that Pete Hines said that really stuck out, is the very first thing is New Game Plus. A New Game Plus for Bethesda RPG. I have never seen that before outside of mods. That's going to be a big one. I'm sorry, I grabbed my headphone there. That's going to be huge. I don't think I've ever seen any Bethesda game with a New Game Plus, at least not an RPG. And just thinking about what RPGs we have right now, like imagine Morrowind or Skyrim or Oblivion, and I say Oblivion last because Pete Hines, I gotta remember that, yes, said in his interview that Starfield is more Oblivion than it would be Skyrim, but we'll get to that. No, just imagine New Game Plus with those games, or being able to play Fallout 4, finish the whole main story quest, and then go New Game Plus and play a different faction, but keeping all the items you had before. You can get everything on one save file, or potentially you might be able to do something like that. So that's actually huge news. Not only that, he also said, or alluded to in the interview, that he didn't think there was a level cap. Excuse me. Now, and again, I am getting used to talking a lot more again too, so for some reason when I do that, I got two bad habits. I yawn, and I get the hiccups or burp. I'm working on that. I'm usually fairly quiet during the day, but like I said, if you see me do that, I'm just trying to get used to talking again. But yeah, he alluded that he didn't think that there was a level cap for the game. Now, that does not mean that there isn't one. However, Pete Hines said he was pretty sure that there wasn't one. Now, it is a little unusual that he would know that, but I guess you wouldn't necessarily know every single detail about the game. Oh, that seems like it'd be one that would be a pretty big detail, so I'm not sure. But we're going to go down these points here that Caterpillar put up here. A lot of the ones, like I said, I saw in the interview myself. I just didn't write them down. I found the good list that he did here. So, again, check them out on r/Starfield. But the first one, the game doesn't really start until after the main quest. Pete Hines did say that, and it really makes me wonder why or what he means by that. Now, there's something in the reveal, and it almost looked like, and I might go back and, in fact, we're going to go find that again real quick. Here it is. This is a video clip I remember seeing. Now, Pete Hines says the game doesn't really open up. I wonder if the mechanic that I think is in the game, that might be in the game, and people that have played this might look at me laughing right now, but let me play this clip here. It was in the deep dive. I reacted to it earlier, but let me play this, and I'll tell you what I mean. This is one of the last scenes from the deep dive they showed in the game. It's the character, it looks like the main character, I think it's the main character, walking up, putting his hand out, and just pushing everybody back. I'm thinking we will likely get some kind of powers in-game. That's what it looks like to me. Now, it could just be a cutscene, which would be really shitty if we don't get some kind of power, but, I mean, this looks like we might get some kind of power from these relics we're looking for in the game. It could even be something like maybe they took a note out of Skyrim's book, and maybe these different relics give us different abilities. Maybe one lets us push, straight up Husroda. Maybe some let us stop time. Maybe some, who knows? But maybe once we beat the game and we get access to this power, maybe that is what the open up part becomes. Or maybe, the open part or the game opening up, it is us rebuilding, settlements or something. Like, who knows? But like I said, Pete Hines said that the game doesn't really get going till after he completed the main quest. Some other things here. He said it's his favorite Bethesda main quest ever. I've seen a lot of stuff from people talking about this as far as the quest line. Apparently, there was some developer who was an atheist who apparently has gone back and forth being agnostic to atheist. I saw that one. I'm going to be honest, that sounds more like he's... It sounds more like some self-congratulations than anything. Like, hey, I made a story that's so great that it turned me from atheist to agnostic to atheist again. Like, that was a really weird thing to say. It seemed more like he was just kind of bragging to himself about his story or the story that he worked on. That was really weird. I'm not sure why I say that, but regardless, people have talked about the story. Pete Hines is his favorite ever. Says here he once got sucked into the vacuum of space because he boarded an enemy ship and the pilot took off. That was something I was wondering about, if the boarding was going to be something that was automated, or if you're going to physically have to go and get on the ship yourself. It looks like you can get sucked out into space. It looks like it's something you're gonna have a lot more control of having to board it yourself. I wonder if that automatically kills you if you get sucked out into space, but I guess we'll see. Multiple passive point of interest across the galaxy to find. It says right here an example he gave was a set of forms where people give research to people of other planets. I don't remember him talking about that in there, but he did talk about some points of interest. It says here that models will be able to create planets. That's a big one there. It's not one that I was really worried about as far as a modding community, but it is good to have that confirmed. I assumed we'd have like modded planets in, or that they would, change, like, I don't know if the planets are going to be the same for everybody, or if they're going to like generate planets with different names automatically, or they've got like just a list of 1,000 planets that are already named and it just generates it as we go. I don't know. But I assume that either A, they would either be able to make their own planets, or B, modify planets the way they want to. But he did say modders will be able to create planets, which brings up something I don't remember if it was on the list or not. The modding community. That's going to be a big one. Like I said before, in my eyes, Minecraft and Bethesda, period, are synonymous for me because they're both just huge modding communities. I mean, Bethesda games have huge modding communities. Minecraft has huge modding community. I play both games. I love them both. That's probably why I love these games so much, is because a lot of games I play, you're kind of set in what you can do, but with mods, you can craft the game you really want to play. And if you're good enough, you can make mods. So that's just something I might end up doing too at some point, making mods. We'll see. Might be just some simple stuff, but regardless, he said the modders will be able to create planets. I don't know how difficult that's going to be, but we'll see. This is something he said. Certain companions will get annoyed if you do bad things. That's something that's already kind of been in the system. A lot of stuff that he did talk about, or that has come out for Starfield, they kind of talk about it in these new and exciting ways, but it's really nothing new. Now, it's not bad, but it is a good thing to know. I mean, if you go back and play Fallout 4 right now, if you have certain companions, like if you have the super mutant with you and you're like working on your power armor, he gets pissed off because he should not be using power armor. I mean, it's kind of par for the course for a Bethesda game that your companions will react to the stuff that you're doing. I'd be a little disappointed if they didn't. And of course, it's probably going to be those quote-unquote good companions, and the ones that are a bit more evil or seedy, and then the ones that just love you no matter what you do. Says lots of settlements with their own people and quests to find outside of major cities. Again, side quests, that's something that pretty much expected. Now here's some more stuff about New Game Plus. Now, New Game Plus relates to the main story, so we couldn't say a word on it, so we couldn't go into detail about some of that stuff. Says it's different from most New Game Plus mechanics, and it's rather special. And that's the thing he was kind of alluding to. Like, I don't know what they mean by that. Maybe it's, and I almost want to say I'm curious if there's going to be some kind of time travel element in this. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And I don't want to rag on the story yet because it still might be done well, and I might just be way off about it. But I get a feeling that this whole big, hey, this story is really going to get going once you beat it, and it's going to be a special New Game Plus mechanic. $10 is just time travel related. Okay. Again, if it's done right, I don't care. But there's nothing new under the sun. So this new thing he's doing, I doubt it's going to be anything that's actually that special. It's more likely just you use the relics to time travel, or you just use them to reset the clock or something. I'm sure it's going to be something along those lines. But again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just hope we get to keep all your armor and stuff too, because the one thing I don't want to do is go through and do a bunch of collecting, because again, I love collecting these games. I still play Fallout 76, and even though I don't think it's a great game, I do love collecting the legendary armor in it, so that's just my thing. I got a whole garage full of legendary power armor that I have decked out, and it's amazing. I love it. Let's see. Doesn't know if you can fly from planet to planet, as grab driving is much quicker. Only takes a few seconds, apparently. This is something that was kind of explored or talked about in No Man's Sky 2 when it first came out, whether you could actually fly in between planets. Turns out you couldn't. Well, I don't remember if eventually you could or not, but I think originally you couldn't. And the fact, the further you try to fly without a grab drive, the worse the performance of your game got. It was crazy. Now, I don't know if you can. They've had a lot of improvements in that game here recently over the years. I think it's been like 7 years. God. But if you haven't played No Man's Sky since it came out, the game is unrecognizable now. And they haven't charged a dime for anything. But that's a whole other separate topic. I might make a video on that at some point, but we'll see. Let's see. Weapon mods combined with skills are really diverse, yada yada. Again, says he felt like Iron Man at one stage. That sounds pretty cool. Like I said, I hope there's... Sorry, I keep hitting my desk. I hope there's some kind of... I mean, I'm sure there won't be power armor in the game, because that's a Fallout thing. But I'm hoping there is some kind of heavy armor that's power armor-esque, because I like doing heavy armor characters. I either do a stealth character, or I do a straight-up tank. Like, I never do anything in between. It's either straight stealth, or tank, or a stealthy tank. And especially with no level cap, that might end up what happens. I'll start off as a tank, and then eventually add some stealth stuff in there. We'll see. You can get bounties put on you, but there are ways to undo them. Again, at this point, it's par for the course with Bethesda game. Again, not a bad thing, but that's pretty much standard. Museum on New Atlantis explains the lore of the game, the colony war, what happened, etc. That is good, a way to get some backstory. Says the boost pack, I think the jetpack is a really fun skill. Every time he talks about this, he talks about get the jumps or the boost pack skill first thing. Get the boost pack first thing. It's going to be great, so I'm going to be doing that. Adoring fan cannot become a robot. I think someone asked if he could become a robot or something in game, and you couldn't do it. I don't 100% remember that part, but there we go. Enormous amount of creatures. He has no clue how many are in the game. This is one that stuck out to me, too. I don't know if they handcrafted all the creatures in the game. Again, the planets are going to be... most of them, from what I understand, are going to be randomly generated. I got a feeling some of the creatures are too on those planets. Now, I'm sure there's handcrafted creatures on there, but again, this might be a No Man's Sky situation where some of these creatures are just randomly generated. Again, not a bad thing. If they do it right, it's great. It does work. As long as the pieces that they have work. And again, I'll make the comparison to No Man's Sky just because it's one of the closest games to compare to it. When it first came out, I mean, a lot of the creatures weren't very diverse. Now, you go in the game now, and you see a lot of crazy creatures now. But before, I mean, it was just like a few pieces. Not even a few. I mean, there were hundreds of pieces that were just kind of randomly interchanged, but the combos didn't necessarily look great. So I'm hoping that these do. Says has no clue how long it would take to 100% the game. I can already say right now it's going to take probably 1,000 hours to 100% it. Just because it's, I mean, I'd say more than 1,000 hours with 1,000 planets. I mean, it depends on what you mean by 100% too. I mean, main story, all the side quests, okay, that I can see taking, hundreds of hours, but as far as all the random stuff too, more than likely endless, going to each planet, I mean, that's easily, even if you spent just an hour on each planet, that's still 1,000 hours right there. And like I said, that's just spending an hour there, not doing what I'm sure is those tens and hundreds of hours on each planet you could do stuff on. So regardless, I'm sure it's going to be a very long game. Now, I do think a lot of it's going to be a lot of repeated stuff, a lot of randomly generated stuff, but not necessarily a bad thing. In a game like this where it's like space exploration, I mean, exploring space, not necessarily a bad thing to do, or to have quests that are somewhat, not necessarily samey, but to have a bunch of busy work you can just kind of veg out and do and then go back to the main story. There we go. Lots of mod support post-launch. Again, at this point, it's pretty par for the course. Now, I am worried about Creation Club. Still, I'm not a big fan of Creation Club. There have been a few Creation Club mods I've liked. I think I did end up buying the backpack mod in Fallout 4 just because even with the free mods that were out, I mean, I think that particular backpack mod was just so well done, I ended up getting it. But even though I already had like 20 or 30 backpack mods throughout my time playing Fallout, but it was a really good, well done one. But like I said, the mod support is something that, I mean, that's pretty much par for the course of Bethesda game. But I will say one more thing too about just the mods, just kind of off topic from this list too. If Bethesda were to ever stop supporting modders for their games, I almost guarantee that all no, they would just be done. I can't imagine that Fallout 4 and Skyrim probably would have been fine, but I don't think Fallout 4 would have done nearly as well as it has without mods, or people wouldn't have been as interested or still invested in Bethesda if they didn't have the mods that were coming out for it. I mean, that is hands down one of the reasons that, probably the main reason I even get the games. I mean, the stories aren't necessarily great all the time. They're usually pretty generic. Find the MacGuffin or find the person, whatever. But the mods are the thing that really keeps people coming back to these games and getting the new ones, both. So if they ever got rid of the mod support, it'd be an issue. Creation Club was still iffy because it still pissed off a lot of people. And I think when Nexus tried to charge for mods at one point, I might be misremembering how that went, but I think they tried to charge for mods and it went sideways real quick. But I think that stabilized out. I do remember a lot of modders quitting over some shit that was happening too, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot more modding drama with Starfield, so we'll get ready for that one. I'll be here to cover it. Let's see here. Mission boards can ask you to build outposts on planets. Can ask you to. Okay, so I guess it's just like a side mission you can do. To give an example, a mission board gave from a request to take 2 people across to a different planet. After 5 hours, he found the 2 people still on board a ship. He realized he completely forgot to take them to the destination. Yeah, it's easy to... I mean, that's just something anybody could do. It's easy to get caught up in these games with all the different quests and exploring you can do. So, lots of Easter eggs. Again, Bethesda, famous for doing Easter eggs in their games. So that's big, or that's not really much of a surprise. No level cap. Like I said, he thinks. I'm not sure there's a level cap. If there's not, that's great. That means you can just keep on building your character and eventually learn everything. I think he did say that the skill points are going to be harder to come by. They're not going to be too easy. But once you unlock a skill, you actually train it by using it and doing different challenges. So you don't have to get a bunch of skill points and unlock a skill or all the levels of a skill that way. So you get the skill, you then train it, and you're good to go. Starter guides are coming out. No clue when. I'm sure the starter guides are going to be coming out when the embargo is up. I mean, I'm sure people are already making starter guides on this. I mean, if I had a review copy, probably about a day before the game release, I'd be doing it. I'd be pretty deep in the game, just enjoying myself right now if I had a review copy. But I'm sure those starter guides are going to be coming out as soon as the embargo was done. If not, then shortly after. And again, I'll be making my own as well. I'll be making some how-to guides as I get in there. Again, I'm sure there'll be plenty of videos about them at that point anyway, but I'm still going to do it because that's what I want to do. And a lot of times I find that I'll discover something and don't see a guide on it, and I'll need to get it out, and I just don't because I wasn't making videos the way I should have. So that's on me. And last thing here, as I said, people on PC who play the game have said the performance is smooth. I'm hoping that the performance is pretty smooth. Apparently there's no complaints about it. I mean, I can't imagine. Well, I take it back. I guess there could be some. The creation engine is usually, they can be pretty finicky, but we'll see how it works for this game. So, let me see if there are any comments in here. I also said that outside of 4 major cities, there are tons of cool sediments, point of interest, space stations. Yep, I assume there would be. Yeah, and even they say they'd be weird for a Bethesda game to not have that. Exploration is a forte, exactly. You can be in a vacuum of space. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Would it be insecure? Yeah, he didn't say if he died or anything. The New Game Plus people are curious about. Yeah, I am very... This is a New Game Plus thing that's got me deeply intrigued. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's going to be some kind of time travel mechanic that's embedded in the story, but we'll see if I'm right about that one. Yeah, that's funny. Sorry, I was reading the little thing here. I said, I can see it now. Can you take us to this planet to be with our family? And then me 50 hours later, Max, get on the canyons. We've got to take out the cowboy ships so we can get to the Milky Way and find the next alien artist back. Max, I just want to go home. I can easily see that. He's just joking around about SideQuest. But regardless, that was all stuff from the Pete Hines interview. And I said, I'm watching a lot of Starfield stuff right now. A lot of it's just a lot of creators going over the same things over and over again. You take little bits of information where you can get it. At this point, everyone's kind of seen the reveals. Everybody's seen the deep dive. So whatever little major or whatever little bits of information or major bits of information. I mean, everyone's covering them as they come out at this point. The community is really hyped to play this game. I am too. So, like I said, if anything else comes out, I'll go over it. But as of right now, I'm doing the same thing everybody else is. I'm seeing what information is coming out day by day. I'm hyped to see what the reviews are looking like. I'm hyped to see what the people with review copies think about the game, both good and bad. That is one thing that I don't want to happen is, like, if there's stuff that's wrong with the game, I want you to be honest about it. I don't want people to just because it's Bethesda. I do kind of understand the nature of the beast. I mean, if you're just insulting a game the entire time, you probably won't get review codes. It's a very it's a delicate dance, but I do want to hear if there are any other issues or major issues with the game. I want to hear honest opinions, I guess. I want to hear honest opinions. I think we all do. I don't think we want to be lied to, but regardless, I am excited about the game. I'm excited to hear what all you guys think about it, and I'm excited to get my hands on it. So, for now, that's going to do it for me. Thank y'all for coming by. I'm going to have more videos coming out for Destiny 2 and Starfield as we go. I might even have some other stuff. I just recently picked up the new Armored Core. I'm enjoying it. It's hard balancing, work, children, wife, and making videos while balancing like 8 different games. So, it gets a little crazy here. But I am enjoying making videos again, and I am enjoying, getting give you guys information and hopefully making guides for you guys when Starfield comes out. So that's something I really dropped the ball on when Fallout 4 came out. I should have done that. I had a bunch of good guides I could have made, and I never did. I should have. I'd be a lot further on in the channel now if I had. That's the one thing that I kick myself about a lot. Like, that was like 10 years ago. I could have a decent-sized channel now had I actually stuck with making the Fallout 4 guides, and I just didn't. So that's one thing I'm going to be careful as I do this now. As I play, I'm going to be making the guides. That's probably just the hard thing that I have, is that as I'm playing, it's hard to just stop enjoying the game and stop and pull myself back and say, okay, I've enjoyed the game now. I need to stop, take a break, and make these videos and get them out too, and then get back to enjoying the game. So finding that balance has been a challenge for me. But regardless, that's going to be it for me today, guys. I'll see you guys. Like I said, more videos are going to be coming out, hopefully every day, if not every other day, covering a wide variety of games. So I'll see you guys in the next video.